Alright, welcome back everyone to Forgotten Favorite Fridays, and yeah, I kind of lied in the last one because I said, oh, I'm going to do something that isn't Mick Fleetwood or Fleetwood Mac related. I've got another bunch of alternative and rock bands I wanted to cover and all that, but then I thought, I can't pass up this trifecta to do the one that follows Mick Fleetwood Zoo. It's the Zoo, which is a completely different lineup, and it came out 9 years later, and of course, this is more of a Billy Thorpe project. Billy and Mick produced it together, and Billy, of course, is known for Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs. He's a huge star in Australia. Rest in peace, of course. And he was known for, yeah, Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs. He did a song, was it Children of the Sun, and another, Most People I Know Think I'm Crazy. And they had a huge live record over there, which I think went triple platinum, though I want to say triple gold. I think they certify their records a bit differently. So this was released in June 16th of 1992, and unfortunately it was 5 or 10 years too late. I think this could have been a huge, huge hit in the 80s, but it's kind of hair metal, and which is, ooh, that's a toxic word, but but it's really good though. It's one of my favorite releases of the 90s, and but yeah, unfortunately, it just came at the wrong time. I mean, the youth was listening to grunge by 1992, and more punk-laden rock music, and whereas the older set were starting to listen to AOR and more adult-oriented rock music. I mean, just listen to what 70s and 80s bands like Yes and Genesis were producing in the 90s as opposed to what they were doing in the 70s and 80s. Not that it's bad, but I'm not a big fan of the latter day Genesis stuff. Yes, they were good, but they were definitely not setting your mind ablaze with crazy fast riffs and completely progressive forward thinking music. It was a little more dialed back, I guess, but they still put out some good albums in the 90s. But I digress. Anyway, so this is Mick Fleetwood on percussion and drums, obviously, and then Billy Thorpe. He writes pretty much everything. He did lead vocals, of course, synthesizer, rhythm guitar, percussion. Bekka Bramlett is on here, who of course would follow Mick Fleetwood to the next incarnation of Fleetwood Mac on the Time record. And unfortunately, both rock albums she did, they didn't do very well, and then she kind of just went the country way and eventually became like a session musician. You can hear her on all sorts of records by, Billy Ray Cyrus and Robert Plant and a whole whack of different people. But man, she was talented, and I wish she didn't give up the rock stuff. I mean, that just shows that I'm not really a country boy. Sorry, Glenn Campbell, but yeah, I think she should have. She had the voice for this rock music, and it was so powerful. And that's why it's cool to see her work with people like Robert Plant, but, not really on a Robert Plant rocking record, but just to have that connection is cool. So you got Mick, Bekka, Billy, Thorpe, uh, Greg Wright, who did lead vocals and rhythm guitar and backing vocals, Tom Lilly on bass and backing vocals, and finally Brett Tuggle. So 6 people. Brett was on keyboards and backing vocals. Now this is an amazing record. It's pretty consistent. It starts with Reach Out, which is one of my favorite songs of the 90s. And this isn't on like Spotify or any streaming that I can find. It's not on Spotify Canada, at least. I don't see it on Apple Music or Amazon. It's really hard to find. It's like, Mick wants us to forget about it. But if he put an LP of this out, I would definitely buy it. I really love this release. Reach Out is a lot of fun. A lot of the songs are quite long, but they don't, they don't forgo their welcome. God Created Woman, I think that could have been a big hit, maybe 10 years prior. So just wrong time, right? Great material, wrong time. Nightlife is just amazing. It keeps up the consistency. Shaking the Cage is just, oh man, just high octane, like really fast riffs and, flawless fast drumming. Voodoo is how I discovered this one. I think I discovered this through, and this is kind of going to date, well, me, but I always do that anyway, is I found it on a blog spot like 15, 20 years ago, where people, well, actually, I think it was one guy was just posting all the Fleetwood Mac rarities, like all the stuff from the Fleetwood Mac family that may not be commercially very available, and that maintained, of course. And he was posting like old Jeremy Spencer records and Bob Weston and stuff that you can't even get now. Like, you can't find those Bob Weston records. And yeah, when he posted this, I went and found Voodoo on like a file sharing site, and almost Freudian slip there, and Voodoo blew my mind, and I still think that track is amazing. And of course, it's kind of brothers with another song on here called In Your Hands. They both have the same percussion and chanting, kind of African inspired and kind of tribal drumming, but one of them plays it kind of backwards or kind of slows it down a little bit, so it's played differently, but it's kind of a nice callback, and they're definitely their own entity. Voodoo is kind of a lot more kind of mystical in that, and In Your Hands is a lot more kind of soul searching and life affirming and very I don't know, just very, it's a great closer. Like, it just makes you feel really good and kind of relaxed. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if they performed Voodoo live, but it's, low key or high key, one of my favorite songs of the 90s. I know I said that for Reach Out, but it maintains here. How Does It Feel? I gotta say that has Kenny Gradney of Little Feat fame. He plays the bass guitar on that. And the aforementioned In Your Hands, the closing song, has Isaac Asante. I'm probably mispronouncing that. And Delaney and Bonnie are on here, which are Bekka's parents. They do the backing vocals on it. So, yeah, it's just got really cool, kind of busy production. Their backing vocals are angelic. And, not to slight, I missed a bunch of songs. The Night and You, which is probably the low point, but it also sounds like it could be a hit. Like, it's kind of fun and, kind of like, the conversations kind of run out and, you're kind of thinking a little sexually or whatever. That's what most hit songs are about anyway, so it's not deep, but it's fun. Taking it out to the people's really cool. Breaking Up. What great live tracks they would be. Like, it would be so cool to see this band live, and all the low quality YouTube stuff you can find kind of reaffirms that. So my copy has that cover is so ugly though, with that almost naked guy doing that weird stretch. It's a really bad cover, which is probably another reason why it didn't sell. And mine, of course, it was probably for a radio station or something, but it's got that hole clipped out of it. I probably got it off Amazon.com back in the day. So there's Mick and Bekka and everyone else. Unfortunately, there's no lyrics. I really wish this one had the lyrics in it. Not that they're hard to figure out, but it's one of those albums I kind of want to read along with. So yeah, that's Forgotten Favorite Fridays with the Zoo, and that's the end of the Mick Fleetwood trifecta. He did do another album years and years later called Something Big with Todd Smallwood, which is more of a Todd solo album with Mick on drums. Like, Mick has less to do with that one, but it got billed as Mick Fleetwood Band, which I think is kind of a little misleading, but yeah, anyway. So, but this is the end of the really great studio Mick era. After this, he would focus more on Fleetwood Mac again. Just want to give quick shout-outs to Walter Lopez, Doc J. Johnson, Hamish Duncan, Oscar Johnson, David Fradley, Jefferson Amadio, Nathan Lavelle, and Michael Schaffner. Also, Carlos Guzman. I want to give a big shout out to all the subscribers, and there was that little dormant period where I couldn't post videos for a couple weeks, which was really frustrating for me. just because of life and mostly technology at the house here. But yeah, just big thanks to all the subscribers and the people that have posted comments recently. I really like the comments a lot. Even the bad one. I got one sort of critical one. That's okay. It was pretty respectful, so. But yeah, I just want to say thanks everyone for watching, and I've got another video coming up soon that's related to this one, and then I've got a whole whack of other videos too, probably before the end of the year. So thanks again. If you've heard of this, please share your experience, because not many people know this, so I would love to talk about this one a little bit more. And if you haven't heard it, please suss it out somehow. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, everybody.